Just as Islamic sentiment had characterized Pakistan's past military confrontations, the war against the Bengali people was also characterized as a war for Pakistan's Islamic identity. Yahya Khan addressed the nation the day after the beginning of the military operation. He accused Sheikh Mujibur Rahman of treason, announced the banning of the Awami League, and imposed press censorship. Most West Pakistanis, especially the Islam-loving parties, supported his decision. The Pakistani military projected the conflict in East Pakistan as a counterinsurgency drive, and at home, the troops were presented as mujahideen, fighting the enemies of Islam. Propaganda emanating from West Pakistan also focused on the Hindu influence and the actions of anti-Muslim forces as responsible for the crisis in the Eastern Wing. West Pakistani opinion was being shaped almost exclusively by the government and the Islamist elements that dominated the media. When he took over from Tika Khan, General Niazi cast himself in the mold of a religious zealot. During his talks to the troops, Niazi quoted copiously from the Quran, the Sunnah, and the history of Islam. The way of life offered by the Quran is known as Islam, another word for peace. Essentially, Islam preaches peace under normal circumstances, but being a realistic way of life, it realizes that constant maintenance of peace depends on the ability to repel force. As Muslims, we have always fought against an enemy who is numerically and materially superior. The enemy never deterred us. It was the spirit of jihad and dedication to Islam that the strongest adversaries were mauled and defeated by a handful of Muslims. Niazi's lectures gave a religious tinge to the military operations in East Pakistan. In addition to motivating the troops with religious frenzy, the regime gave the Jamaat-e-Islami, the various factions of the Muslim League, the Nizam-e-Islam Party, and the Jamiat Ulama Pakistan, the parties that had lost the election to the Awami League, a semi-official role. These parties functioned as the intelligence network of the Pakistan Army, especially after the Mukti Bahini launched its guerrilla war against Pakistani forces. The army decided to raise a Razakar force of 100,000 from the civilian non-Bengalis settled in East Pakistan and the pro-Pakistan Islamist groups. The Jamaat-e-Islami, and especially its student wing, the Islami Jamiat-e-Talaba, joined the military's effort in May 1971 to launch 2 paramilitary counterinsurgency units. By September, a force of 50,000 Razakars had been raised. The 2 special brigades of Islamist cadres were named Al-Shams and Al-Badr. Bangladeshi scholars accused the Al-Badr and Al-Shams militias of being fanatical. They allegedly acted as the Pakistan Army's death squads and exterminated leading left-wing professors, journalists, literateurs, and even doctors. The military, as an institution, needed a popular civilian leader to pick up the pieces after Pakistan's breakup. By allowing Bhutto to come to power, the generals also expected to deflect criticism from their own conduct in East Pakistan. They could now focus political debate on Bhutto's role in breaking up the country by failing to reach accommodation with Sheikh Mujibur Rahman.